We have multiple new Los Angeles Lakers trade updates to go over today as a new report has dropped surrounding the Lakers' pursuit of star De'Aaron Fox. We're going to break down exactly what that report entails and discuss what this means going forward as Rob Pelinka prepares for something big. We also have multiple other free agency updates revealing the Lakers' plans. Stay tuned for all that in this episode, folks. Before we get into it, if you're part of the 83% who aren't subscribed to the channel, we're on the road to 5,000 subscribers, and this is the place to be for daily Lakers content. So make sure to smash that subscribe button, and thank you all again for your continued support. But ladies and gentlemen, there's a lot to go over today, and the Lakers are in the market for a lot of different players. And of course, De'Aaron Fox, there's been a lot of rumors circulating trades. Of course, Jimmy Butler requested a trade out of Miami. But De'Aaron Fox, you can see this here. The San Antonio Spurs, Miami Heat, and the LA Lakers are top of the list of teams that are most often discussed as possible landing spots for De'Aaron Fox. Spurs, Heat, and LA, top of the list often, like I just mentioned, with others sure to make a run at him when he's truly on the market. The Magic, for example, are known to be contemplating a pursuit. The Rockets, who want to analyze their current core this season, could be in the market as well. They're all intrigued by the idea of De'Aaron Fox. So it's good. So the top three teams are the Spurs, the Heat, and the Lakers. And obviously, it makes a ton of sense for the Lakers, which we'll dive into later. But it also makes sense for the Spurs, of course, as well, given their current situation with Wemby and all their young guards. But you think about the Lakers' perspective now, and I keep mentioning this on the channel. They have a lot of assets, and they traded for Dorian Finney-Smith, who had a great game yesterday and on the road to a great Lakers win. But as you looking at the moves that the Lakers were planning on making, they of course made the big trade for Dorian Finney-Smith, only gave up second-round picks. They were able to keep their first-round picks, which they have 3 of them, but really 2 they're willing to deal. They have 3 they're willing to deal, but in most of the trades we're talking about, it's usually 2 first-round picks here, the 29 and the 31. But as you look at now, by keeping their first-round picks and most of their salary filler, of course, they traded D'Lo in the trade, which makes matching salary a bit harder because, De'Aaron Fox is a near-max player. He gets a ton of salary. He's on a max contract, all these different things. What makes things very interesting is the fact that, A, De'Aaron Fox would fit great with this Los Angeles Lakers team, especially if he can get back to where he was once defensively with the Kings. And B, they have the assets available to actually make a move like this. And the all-star point guard has been disgruntled with the organization, reportedly played a part in the firing of head coach Mike Brown after the disappointing start. His contract expires at the end of the 2025-2026 season, so next year, and is represented by Rich Paul. This understandably raised a ton of eyebrows in the LA trade, and of course, we know that Sam Amick came out and linked the Lakers to him. So his contract ends after next season, so it wouldn't be a rental. You'd have him for this year, and of course, you'd have him for next year as well. And then as you think about how he'd fit into this team, it becomes very interesting because you think about who they have. Right now, Austin Reaves has been a very good point guard for this team. He's actually turned into a guard that not a lot of Lakers fans, at least myself, I didn't really see him necessarily becoming the type of point guard that he is now, to the point where he's facilitating incredibly, where he's scoring, and he's really fit into the lineup well. And that's been the biggest thing. They still don't really have a backup point guard. I guess Shake Milton, of course, would technically be their backup point guard. They got him in the DFS trade. But De'Aaron Fox, a lineup with De'Aaron Fox, Austin Reaves, Dorian Finney-Smith, LeBron, and AD, that is one of the best starting lineups in basketball, if not the best starting lineup in basketball. And you can see this here. The Lakers presumably make an offer. They have 2 first-round picks and multiple pick swaps to offer in addition to matching salary. So if they end up wanting to go out and make a big splash for De'Aaron Fox, they have the capital to do it. It makes a ton of sense. You'd assume that De'Aaron Fox, A, would love Los Angeles, but B, he's obviously represented by the same agent as LeBron in Rich Paul. He would be open to an extension, you would assume, with the LA Lakers. And now you have a young star point guard who can really spearhead the future of your team. You still have Dalton Knecht, assuming you keep him in a trade. You still have, of course, AD. Now, in a trade, I mentioned that starting rotation, the starting lineup, of course, Austin Reaves, D. Fox, all these guys. You'd probably have to give up one of Dalton Knecht, Max Christie, Austin Reaves, maybe a couple of them, probably just one of them with your picks in order to get De'Aaron Fox. Because if you're the Kings, it's not like he's a pending free agent or anything like that, and he's having an unbelievable season. He's been very good. He is a very good defender. This season is averaging 26, 5, and 6 with a Kings team that is struggling mightily. His three-point shot has went down a bit this season, but he's coming off of probably the best season of his career last season, averaging 26, 4, and 6. 5 rebounds, 6 assists, with 2 steals a game. They call him a swiper for a reason. This season, 1.6 steals a game. And for a guy nicknamed Swiper, he gets a ton of steals, is a phenomenal defender. And I'm not saying that he's the best perimeter defender, but he would be adequate. And especially, he's been a bit less engaged. If you watch Kings games, he hasn't been quite as engaged offensively or defensively. He's still putting up 20 field goal attempts a game, which is, it's valid. It's pretty funny, especially because the Kings don't have too many people aside from, of course, Sabonis. But he's greatly improved his free throw shooting. Like, he is a complete player and would fit this team well. Gives him some perimeter defense. We know JJ Redick came out and said they want a point of attack defender. If he elevates his game, he could become that point of attack defender, especially now that he doesn't have as much pressure on him because he is the number one option with the Kings alongside Domantas Sabonis. So if you have a guy like Fox now, you're playing alongside arguably the best player of all time in LeBron, a very good center, one of the best in the league in AD. You're now looking at it from the perspective of, okay, De'Aaron Fox is probably going to be, the second or third option on this team. And as you start to think about that, it makes more and more sense. It would take pressure off him. It would make scoring easier for him. It can preserve some of his energy on offense to continue to do what he loves to do defensively and maybe get back to that 2-steal-a-game mark, even though he's still having a very solid season, at least counting stats wise. We've seen his effort drop off a little bit by watching Kings games. But I love the idea, and it makes a lot of sense for the Lakers, and I'm curious to see what you all think about in the comment section. Now, the issue would be you're giving up your future assets, you're going all in. Is De'Aaron Fox good enough to propel this Lakers team to a championship run compared to what they have now? Because if you give up your 29, 31, and your 2029 and your 2031, a lot of numbers, first round pick, you are then now going to have to start, thinking about your future, because then you're out of first round picks for the foreseeable future that you can trade. You're probably going to have to give up a young asset. And as you look at what the package could entail, an article drop, Hachimura, Christie, Reaves package would be brimming with talent, headlined by the best player Reaves that anyone on the list can offer the Kings. This package, especially if it included a first rounder or two, would be a momentous win for the Kings. They'd essentially be getting an immediate replacement for Fox and Reaves, which I think is a bit of a stretch, but I mean, some teams would certainly prefer Reaves compared to Fox, given their structure, who thrives as a point of attack ball handler and could log heavy minutes as Sacramento's premier point guard. And then if you're the Lakers, I don't know if you're willing to give up that. There's a chance that Lakers GM Rob Pelinka or others within LA's front office value Fox so highly they consider dangling Reaves, but that wouldn't be a smart move. And I tend to agree. I think if you're going for De'Aaron Fox, trading Austin Reaves would be counterintuitive, because if you're going for De'Aaron Fox, you're going for a championship and you're going to win. And Austin Reaves is critical in that. Max Christie, even Dalton Knecht, if it takes one of Dalton Knecht or Max Christie, to get this deal done along with a first, I would pull the trigger on that. Because again, arguably the best starting lineup in basketball would be De'Aaron Fox, Austin Reaves, who's a very solid defender, and he can still play, alongside Austin Reaves, or alongside De'Aaron Fox, You then have a bunch of ball handlers. LeBron can dribble the ball. De'Aaron Fox can dribble the ball. Austin Reaves can dribble the ball. You have a great 3-and-D wing in Dorian Finney-Smith, who I think is going to start factoring into the starting lineup here soon instead of Max Christie. Things are looking very upwards if they make this deal. And let me know down below what your thoughts are on this trade, because it gets interesting. You look at Max Christie, he's having a bit of a breakout season. This would be the time to sell on him high, trade him at his peak value. And if the Kings are interested in this deal, I think it could be absolutely perfect for the Los Angeles Lakers. But let me know down below what your thoughts are on this. Reports are dangling. Reports are swirling. We're hearing reports they aren't super interested in trading for a center and that they're looking for another wing, and that Max Christie can play plays like this. They could go back to looking at bigs. Tons of things going on. We'll have more updates and more videos on this later. But let me know down below what your thoughts are. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you later.